going on, everybody? It's Weather with Jonathan here, back again with another weather forecast. And in this video, we will be talking about a major fire risk across Texas and Oklahoma over the next few days, and a major severe weather outbreak that could potentially turn into a small tornado outbreak in the central Midwest and the central U.S. and the south central U.S. And this will rage across the south central U.S. all the way up into the Midwest over the next 3 days. So here's what you need to know. So starting out with our storms tomorrow on the 13th, and we also have an extreme fire risk for that day. I will show you that later. But as you can see right now, we have a low pressure center sitting over Kansas and Oklahoma, specifically the southern and northern border of those two places, the northern border of Oklahoma and the southern border of Kansas. Then you can see a warm front wrapping around here, and then you can see a cold front sitting like this. And this will be a very dynamic storm, right? So it's pushing cold air from Canada into the storm system, and then it's bringing lots of warm Gulf air up into the storm also. And I believe this is a negatively tilted trough, which means that it usually allows more moisture and more cold air to come down, which those usually are the worst storms. And so far, the storm is looking pretty bad. So you can see in the future, this is towards the morning of Thursday, you can see we are getting a lot of storms, especially across the Midwest and the south central part of the United States. And then this storm will carry down into the southeast and most likely cause quite a bit of rain, but not a whole lot of severe weather. Mostly just rain. I will maybe go over the rainfall totals in just a minute. So now starting on to our dynamics here of the storm. Sorry, I pronounced that wrong. So now going on to our dynamics. You can see here, this is the dew points here. And for the first day, we're going to have a slight risk around Kansas City. That area could get 55 to 60 dew points. It's not a whole lot, but it's enough for storms to fire up. Then, as we get into the morning hours and the afternoon hours of Thursday, this is where we have a large slight risk, and it could turn into an enhanced risk. On the northern part of our slight risk, we have 60 degrees dew points, and anywhere south of that, 60 to 70 dew points, especially in Arkansas, Louisiana, Texas, and Oklahoma. Now, this will be a very dynamic storm, and let's get into another factor of this storm that includes how much energy the storms have and how much space they have to work with. So now on to our CAPE, CAPE, convective available potential energy. You can see around Kansas City that evening, we have about 1,000 to 1,500 joules per kilogram or values of CAPE. And then south of that, we have up to 2,000 joules per kilogram in terms of CAPE. And once this storm starts reaching up more north, we could start getting very powerful storms and very high CAPE values for March. So in this area in western Illinois, southeastern Iowa, and northern and central Missouri, anywhere from about 1,000 to 2,500 joules per kilogram. And then as we go further south into this area, southern Missouri, about 1,000 to 2,000 kilograms or joules per kilogram in terms of CAPE. Northeastern Texas, almost 3,000 joules per kilogram. Southwestern Arkansas, 2,000 to 2,500. Southeastern Oklahoma, 1,000 to 2,000 joules per kilogram. So this is a lot of CAPE for these storms to work with and a lot of energy. And these storms will probably fire up pretty quickly if the cap for this in this environment can break off and break up pretty quickly. We can get some pretty large storms, and we can definitely expect them to happen on Thursday and on Wednesday. So taking a look at what's actually going to be happening here, you can see we have a slight risk in place for northwestern Missouri, northeastern Kansas, and southeastern Nebraska. This will be this will lead to quite a bit of severe weather, and then that marginal risk does extend from portions of southeastern Nebraska and southern Iowa down into northern Texas and northeastern Texas. Now you can see here, looking at the 4 panel, you can see in that slight risk, especially around Kansas City and northeastern Kansas, we do have a 5% tornado risk, so this could warrant a tornado watch, and a few tornadoes could touch down potentially. Then we also have a 15% wind risk for northwestern Missouri and northeastern Kansas. This means that you probably will get a few damaging winds, nothing terribly significant, but some damaging winds here and there. Then we have a pretty high hail outlook, and it is 15% significant severe across Kansas City and northeastern Kansas, and a little bit of southeastern Nebraska and northwestern Missouri. So this means that large hail, 2+ inches in diameter, could happen across that area that evening. So now on to Friday, our day 3 categorical outlook. Right now, I do not have the full details, but I can see our probabilistic outlook for our severe weather. But right now, you can see we have a slight risk in place all the way from central Texas all the way up into eastern Iowa and northwestern Illinois. This will be a very large, like when I say very large slight risk. And I do think that the models are, in at least the GFS, are showing it pretty bad, and I think we could potentially get an enhanced risk up here for southeastern Iowa, northeastern Missouri, and northwestern Illinois. And then I do definitely think, though, we could get an enhanced risk down in southeastern Oklahoma, northeastern Texas, northwestern Louisiana, and southwestern Arkansas. I do think we could get an enhanced risk across that area, and I do think that it would have a 10% probability of tornadoes, but I do think for sure that this would be warranted for hail. I do think there would be some damaging winds with this, but I do think the main threat here would be hail and tornadoes. So now looking at our probabilistic outlook, our probability, and you can see we have a 15% significant overall for southeastern Iowa, northern Missouri, and northwestern Illinois. Then we have a 15% risk carrying down all the way into central Texas, central Oklahoma, and northwestern Louisiana. And then from northwestern Louisiana, southwestern Arkansas, southeastern Oklahoma, and northeastern Texas, that entire area, you will be getting a 15% significant. Now, this is most likely for hail, both of you guys. These storms contain very large hail. I would be concerned about that because these storms look like they're going to contain a lot of hail. Now on to our fire risk, like I said I would. And, man, I was right, you guys. I told you, I knew so far this year that for the early spring at least, this area would definitely be pretty dry. And what did I tell you? Extreme risk. And this is like almost unheard of. Extreme risk for fire in early March. And yes, we've had an extreme risk in December, but this is pretty rare because March is a pretty wet month, and December usually it's not as wet and it's not as stormy. So this is very unusual. So right now we have an extreme risk in place for portions of northern Texas and western Oklahoma. Then we have a critical risk from southern Kansas, western Oklahoma, eastern New Mexico, and down into northwestern Texas, and then an elevated risk anywhere within 90 miles of that critical risk. So in our critical risk here are some cities: Lubbock, Texas; Midland, Texas; Odessa, Texas. Sorry if I mispronounce any of these. Roswell, New Mexico; and Clovis, New Mexico. Then in our extreme risk, we have Amarillo, Texas; Pampa, Texas; Hereford, Texas; Borger, Texas; and Canyon, Texas. So this is a pretty large area, and this is very dangerous. I want you guys to stay safe. Honestly, I'd kind of recommend going kind of east if you live in the critical risk or extreme risk, but these, because I do not want anything, like, I do not want you guys to witness a fire. It is not fun, and I don't want anything to happen like this. But you can see here our surface analysis. Sorry, you guys. You can also see that, well, right here you can see our low pressure center is here. Then our warm and cold front is here. Then our cold front is here so far. Then a low pressure center, and then nothing here, just nothing. And now this cold front will move down here, but it will just bring more wind and it will not bring any rain to this area. And that, I think, is why we have this critical risk and the extreme risk of fire for this area tomorrow. And I just want to say, do not, I repeat, do not, if you live in this extreme or critical risk area in Texas, New Mexico, Oklahoma, or a portion of Kansas, I repeat, do not even start a fire in your house. Do not start a fire anywhere. Do not even try to start a fire anywhere. All right, because it is very dangerous, and absolutely anything could ignite a fire. And there, literally, I'm not kidding, so far in Texas this winter and spring, Texas has already burned over 200,000 acres with fires. So I don't want to know what it's going to be like later this spring and later this month. So please have safety precautions. And I think it'll also be pretty hot in this area. So I would drink lots of water if it's going to be pretty hot. I think it is going to be pretty hot. And I would just make sure that you guys do not ignite anything. And I hope you guys stay safe in this. I hope no fires happen, and I hope uh, no fires end up. If any fires happen, I hope no fires come in contact with anyone or in contact with any buildings. At least if they come in contact with any buildings, I hope they're buildings that are abandoned and stuff, so that way no one gets hurt. And then for all you 400,000 people in this extreme risk, please stay safe. I'm praying for you. And also for those 1,500,000 people in the critical risk. So I hope you guys stay safe, and this is going to be a big fire event for you guys. So thank you guys for coming and watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for all the support lately. Please consider subscribing and liking this video and sharing this video with your family and friends. I hope you enjoyed it. And once again, I'll see you in my next